What's up, folks? How's it going? This is Watch. Hope you guys are all doing well. Now, I know we've been talking a lot about smartwatches these days with the release of the Apple Watch Series 6 and SE, but today we're going to take a look at a watch that you probably haven't heard of. It's the Xiaomi IMILAB KW66. I know it's probably not the best product name ever, but it has some really interesting features. Firstly, it's one of the first smartwatches that I've encountered that actually has really great battery life. Not since the Pebble have we experienced a modern day smartwatch that guarantees battery life beyond just a couple of days. In fact, Xiaomi claims that you can potentially get up to 30 days of standby time with minimum usage in between. More realistically, you can expect up to 2 weeks of battery life on a more frequent basis. We are going to be talking about our experience with the battery life later in this video. But firstly, let's talk about the basic feature set of the KW66. It has a circular 1.2-inch TFT display. The pixels on it are quite small. I'm not exactly sure what the resolution is, but everything looks very sharp and very clear on the watch face. The design of the watch is very minimal. It has these nice curved bevel edges on the glass face. The 45mm watch face is made out of a zinc alloy. It only measures around 12.7 millimeters in terms of thickness, and with the silicone strap that's included with this watch, it only measures around 54 grams in terms of weight. Furthermore, if you want to swap out the stock straps that come with it, it's really easy since it uses a standard 22mm strap configuration, and there's tons of third-party options out there. Furthermore, in terms of durability, we do have IP68 certification for both dust and water resistance, so you can certainly swim with the watch, get it wet outside in the rain, sweat on it all you like, and you shouldn't have any major issues. The glass on the watch face itself isn't as resilient. I've encountered some micro scratches, and I'm pretty much babying this thing for the most part, so who knows how that's going to last over time. Now, one big fundamental on this watch is that we're actually using a custom Xiaomi interface and operating system. It's not running on the back of Android, Google Wear OS, or Apple Watch OS or anything like that. We're using a custom interface specifically tailored for this hardware, which certainly works great from a compatibility standpoint, but from a user experience standpoint, the UI looks pretty decent, but actually runs a little bit choppy at times. The refresh rate on the screen looks to be sub 60 or 50 hertz, certainly not as smooth as the competitors out there from Samsung, Google, and Apple. And although the interface is generally easy to use, you have plenty of watch faces to choose from. In fact, 61 dials to be exact. And you also have custom watch faces where you can add your own wallpaper and things like that, which run relatively well. And as well as a menu structure that is easy to understand and access. But again, it all runs a little bit choppy. The frame rate is fairly low and certainly not as smooth of an experience that you'd find from the other competitors. Now, in addition to that, the application library is very limited. You are certainly not going to have the wide selection that you find from other platforms out there. But with that, you still have all the basic fundamental features that you would expect to see on a modern day smartwatch. Things like push notifications, so you can see what emails or social media messages are coming your way from your smartphone to the watch. You also have a set of basic media controls, so you can control your music, podcast, or audiobook. And we also have an optical heart rate monitor on the watch, which will monitor your heart rate 24/7, including the 13 pre-programmed fitness programs built inside the watch, ranging from running, jogging, yoga, sports-related activities, etc. Now, we also have basic sleep tracking capabilities with the watch. Essentially, it'll give you a breakdown of the duration of sleep when you were in light and deep sleep mode. But besides that, and just some general advice on when to go to bed and when to wake up a little bit earlier, the sleep tracking capabilities on this thing is fairly rudimentary. Certainly doesn't give you any indication of what your heart rate was doing during sleep and when your body was going through a rapid eye movement cycle. The sleep tracking on this thing is not as advanced and as well thought out as the sleep tracking systems on Apple, Google, Whoop, as well as Android. Now, lastly, let's talk about the one big redeeming factor about this watch, and that's what we hinted to in the intro of this video, and that is the potential 30-day battery life. Certainly, I find it's going to be very difficult to get 30 days if you're actually going to be using the watch, but it is possible if you're just basically asking it for the time. Now, more realistically, based on my experience, I actually experienced 12 hours of a battery life, which is sensational in my opinion. I was using the watch pretty much on a very, very frequent basis. I had push notifications turned on to various different services, including Gmail, Twitter, text messages, answering phone calls with the watch, and 24/7 heart rate monitor enabled. And that is a very impressive feat. We do have a 340 milliamp hour battery inside, which is very large, larger than anything you would expect to find on a modern day Apple Watch, Samsung Galaxy Watch, or anything like that. So we do have a large battery that supports this, but most importantly, the hardware software is super efficient, and perhaps that's worth the compromise if you're looking for battery life specifically on your smartwatch. And like we mentioned before, it does all the core essential features that you would expect to find on a watch. It certainly doesn't do them well, but it does them nonetheless. And the cool thing about this watch is that it is iOS and Android compatible, which is pretty cool. But really, other than that, guys, that's really it. This is a brand new product from Xiaomi. There will be links in the description for more information. Big thank you for them for supplying this for this review, and big thank you to you guys for watching and continuing to support the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure you have post notifications turned on, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll see you later, and take care.